So we're assembling the final parts of the new studio computer. The heat sink there, and now we're installing the processing chip into the motherboard. It's a 2011-3 socket. I used the X99 series deluxe Asus board, and finally finished getting everything installed. I went to my friend Will's house and he helped me install the software. There are just a few cards in it. Here it is, finally installed in the rack and in the control room gear section of the studio. I left the case open. The lid would fit just barely, but I decided to just run it open and keep it very cool. The system has run remarkably well. At the end of this video, I have some specs on the cooling. The main cards that I put into it, the brains of the whole system, is my RME RADAT audio interface. That gives me my ADAT input and output and a MIDI input interface. I also had to install the word clock module to the RADAT because my Aphex interface that Richard Shear from Shear Media Solutions has loaned me for the studio would not take an ADAT clock in. And the other card that's installed is the UAD2 Duo that lets me run their powered plugins. Some really nice plugins. I was able to get this used at Reverb. So, having it all assembled and running, I downloaded some performance test software, and this takes a while to run. I've truncated it somewhat, but it's kind of cool to watch when it does some of the video stuff. So we'll just let this run for a second. You can see what it's doing, testing the graphics capabilities, which I did not enforce strictly on this computer. I didn't go for a super powerful graphics GPU because I wanted to use this strictly as a music computer. So the 3D graphics I don't even have enabled. It did really quite well with 2D graphics though, considering my main criteria for buying the graphics card was to have the capability to support 3 HDMI monitors, and I was able to find one that had 2 HDMI outputs, and I was able to convert the DVI output to HDMI, and that's the output that I'm using through the Rocket video recorder. You can see it going through some of the graphics tests here. At one point it got wonky, and I didn't show that part obviously. When it was shutting down assorted combinations of monitors to run the graphics tests, the monitor that was going through the Rocket that I used to capture my video crashed, so you weren't able to experience that lovely black screen. But this gives you an idea of what it's doing as it tests for the capabilities of the computer's hardware. I'm super happy with the way the computer's functioning in the studio. Cubase 8 Pro running on a Windows 7 Ultimate is just fantastic. I have never had a studio computer that ran this good. You can see my specs there if you'd like to pause it and examine these. My computer is the bottom bar, and you can see it's just screaming. I have the CPU overclocked to 4125, it's showing now, and 39 degrees is the warmest it's ever got. So the cooling is working just great. Thanks for watching. Listen to music, it'll make you better.